to forget. And going back to, okay, so the camera and sound is working now.
Okay, cool. So
All right,
perfect. Yep, so that's coming through.
That's great.
That's
Okay,
working.
Mario, I think you're ready. Just a second.
Unfortunately, we're just actually having to use the laptop.
So
It's okay. We need to use this laptop, please. Yeah. I mean, you can.
With collaborate, linking up with this.
Okay. I think you would perhaps need to stand here if you don't mind. All right. I'm gonna start. Is that okay, Kyle?
Yeah.
Can I? Yeah. Let me make a start. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I'm going to share the screen, so I wouldn't be seeing the participants, but thanks again. I would like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. I would like to pay my respects to their elders, past and present. My name is Panizza. I am the course coordinator of Master of Architecture program at Curtin. We are delighted to have you all here today. Professor Mario Panizza is the director of the University of Roma Tre. Well, he was the former, basically, director of the University of Roma Tre from June 2013 to June 2017. He's a full professor of architectural and urban composition, and he was the director of the Department of Architecture of the University of Roma Tre from, as I mentioned, 2013 until 2017. Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Architecture and a director of the board from 1999 to 2005. He is graduated in architecture. He taught in the Faculty of Architecture of the University of La Sapienza from 1977 to 1992 on the themes of social architecture and building types since 1992. He taught at the Faculty of Architecture of the Roma Tre University in the architectural design laboratories of the first and second years. The research activity mainly concerned the comparative study between the characters of the buildings and the consolidated urban fabrics. His activity as a painter carried on continuously in various personal exhibitions since 2005. We're very delighted to welcome Mario here. As you might have received the invite, he has curated this beautiful exhibition. I'm standing in our exhibition at building 418 now. The opening will be on Friday evening, so please come along and join us. His talk would mention and would touch on that as well today. So I would just like to hand it to Mario to start. And then again, apologies for the technical issues we've had to start the talk. Thank you. Mario, would you please just, well, actually, you might stand there if you're easier. So, yeah.
okay, good morning. Good morning, Panizza. It's you are delighted of the invitation, but I am very delighted. I've been invited here in a place very nice, beautiful, and the setup is wonderful. In this place where my paintings, black and white, are perfect, connected with the spaces. I am a painter, not a painter professional. I can say a painter amateur, but in Italian and in Latin above all, amateur, significant, dilettante, the man who likes to do something. So not only amateur because not professional, but amateur because has a pleasure to do something. I began to have brushes in my hands a lot of years ago. I think more than 60 years. And I decided to continue even when I became an architect. But generally, the architects drawing elements of the ideal cities, while for me the pleasure was above all to realize, to drawing the secondary part of the cities. We can consider back room like a paraphernalia of elements in the back room. So if we can see some pictures, I can show you the first image, that can be like a selfie of my paintings, because I am a cyclist voyager. So in more than 40 years, I visited a lot of places, above all in Europe. So the first image is this two bikes with my hat. A passion particular is on the industrial archaeology. But I prefer precise, not industrial archaeology like a nostalgia of the times or the fear of the times, but a passion of what once was modern. And I can recognize inside the contemporary cities. So I hope that you can see these images. This is a water tank, a silos in Belgium of 50s, but even other details, elements like this small wagons in a mine in Italy, and but considered not like element of environmental, but like a particular and autonomous elements in the behavior. So I spent a lot of time for this. I think 10, 15 years to going and to look for these elements and to represent like autonomous elements. These are the parts of the engine in Ruhr. The Ruhr is a place fantastic because it was active for a few years, but after the dismission of the engine in Ruhr, all the territory, Hampshire Park, has been transformed in a park for amusement, and all the problems of carbon in the territory, in the ground, had a solution. And you can see these small elements, and the details. The details is a particular interest for me, because I am going to choose the details even for my profession, the architecture. So to choose the elements of construction in details to find the possibility, the rules of construction. This image, if you see, is a sugar factory in Avezzano, a small town in Abruzzo, where I spent the first years of my life. But I remember this construction very amusing, very complex. Complex of this construction where has been worked worked the sugar and prepared the alcohol like a secondary elements of the treatment. And this structure, very abstract, is a structure in Rome, even if no function. And this, if you see this statue, this face of a statue in Russia, is one of the first idea of represent the reality between the shadows. And you see that the net on the face is the element that designed, drawing all the curves of the face. And after industrial archaeology, I tried to choose some elements on the pavements, the ground floor, and the reason is even a reason of respect of the anonymous artist that designed these drawings. Because generally we know the artists, the work of artists that is exposed in a museum, on the walls of a museum. And I considered these designs, if you see the father with the child in Finland, in Helsinki, and another one, there's two young boy and girl, and I found in Urbino, and designed very beautiful and very interesting. And if you consider that I went there 2 years later, but I didn't find any more because this was cancelled. And so the testimony is only in this painting. And in Brazilian, along the way from from the high mountains to the seaside, you have this designs of pedestrians or cyclists and so on. But we now arrive to my principal elements, my principal interest of my paintings. There's a cemetery in Kyoto, but now I found the theme of much more than 10 years, 11 years of my work, the manhole. the manhole is the really concept that I exposed before and above before. So the anonymous artist that design the drawings an element like this, a manhole in Tokyo, where you have a flower, a tree with flower, and I decided that this anonymous manhole could be removed from the ground, and put on the wall of a museum, of an exhibition. And if you like these paintings, manholes in the world, you can consider that Japan is the paradise of manholes. Two places are paradises of manholes in the world. Japan, like this in Tokyo, and other always in Tokyo, where are impressed a lot of dragonflies. Dragonflies is an animal very important for the holy, for the sacred religion in Japan, because generally dragonfly is inside the helmet of samurai, because dragonfly is the unique animal that can live in air, ground, and water. So represents the adaptation to live everywhere. Other Japanese manholes, and now we can find even the manholes, because after the discovery of manholes, I decided to catalog, to prepare like a collection, a catalog of manholes. And now this is a particular manhole because it is in Chandigarh. Chandigarh is a city of foundation in India, designed by Le Corbusier. Le Corbusier, the most important architect of 20th century. And Le Corbusier decided to design even the manhole, and to have a covering of manhole like a plan of the city. So everywhere you can recognize the city where you are going. But as I told you before, the second paradise of manholes is Norway, and a place, a town, above all, Bergen. Bergen is a beautiful city, real beautiful city, because you have a center of the city of wooden houses. The name is Bryggen, and this manhole can be considered a real masterpiece of the manhole, where you see these houses, wooden houses, and the mountain, and the seaside in front of. But when I told that Norway is a paradise of manholes, because every town, every city, every small center has a story of has a story represented on the coverings of manhole. Look at this in Haugesund. Haugesund is a small city with civic center neoclassical, with this fisherman in front of the city center, and or other in Undredal, a small town, and remember these small houses, because represent like the houses of the Rorbur Islands, small houses constructed over stilts, on sticks over the water, and they are generally painted in red color. But now I found even some manholes particular. This manhole, if you see, in Prague, designed in the same shape of bread in Rome, a monument in Rome, where you have, you can see the elements, these round dishes that represent the shape of bread, like the elements of where to connect the water, and not a real manhole, but a matriculation, a grid where the water can be reconnected. And in this is in a place near Rome, but the imperial period of Rome, Ostia Antica, where you can see that a shape, a stone of emperor of Rome, that has been reused as a covering on manhole. So you can see three holes, and very polite, very simple in the description and in the shapes, but very functional to connect the water. So this is an idea that in ancient period, even the monument can be recycled, can be used for new attention. I remember this the truth, the mouth of truth. I don't know if the translation is correct, but there is a famous movie, Roman Vacations, where Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn go to put the hand inside the mouth, and this was a manhole. But the tradition is that if you are not a good man, your hand can be cut. And another interesting manhole, of architecture is this in Vienna, in Michaelplatz. Michaelplatz is Michaelplatz is the square where there is this building by Adolf Loos. Adolf Loos was might be considered the first architect that removed the decoration, the ornamental elements on the houses and the palaces. But for this reason, he was considered like a river, not an architect of the tradition. So you can see the manhole covered, the manhole open, and this man with a strange hat that looks like and compare with oh, this manhole that I love because I found it in Sweden, and you can see that there is a small mouse that can expresses Martin Luther King. I have a dream. Maybe that he has a dream to pull out of the manhole. But I like this here, the manhole in Australia. But I'd like to, if I have some minutes more, to show you two different expressions of my research in paintings. My research in paintings can be considered precisionism, not hyperrealism. I'd like to be hyperrealist, but with the time I decided that precisionism is better because it can offer more affections, not because hyperrealist is too cold, too detached from the emotion of the person. While and decided to dedicate more time to architecture. So this image, if you see, is the image, a particular of the 31 paintings that Claude Monet realized at the end of the 19th century in Rouen. He decided to stay 2 years in the same hotel and to draw the facade of the Cathedral of Rouen in different conditions of light, with the light in front, light from part back, and so on. And the few years later, there was the research of many photographers. This is Feininger, but even Rodchenko and Fanon on the shadows. So I decided that the architecture can be studied, can be researched between different conditions of light, and to study not with the first impression, but looking for the different conditions of light, and to search again this. So you have some images of this, the championship of cyclists in Austria, and I like very much these paintings because I decided to remove the cyclists. So we have only the shadows of the cyclists on the pavement, and I think that can be considered like E.T. movies. You remember E.T. movies, where E.T. goes on the air and the shadow on the pavement, and I am very satisfied of this painting in exposition of treasures in Naples, and when I finished this painting, I was very satisfied because the blue in the left side is. I consider that I realized I painted very well, and when an architect realizes a good project, has like a condition on the shoulder because it's happy, and the painting is the same thing. When you have a shape that is there's a possession in south of Italy, Castellaneta. Is in the day of Easter, some 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 people goes with hooded, is it correct? Hooded people, and I like the contrast between the hooded people white and the shadow black on the pavement, and other elements that you can find if you put attention in different moments of the day and the year. This one has a great symbolic character, because the Ponte Vittorio Bridge is the principal bridge to reach St. Peter from the street of Pellegrini. And in the entrance of the bridge, you have two statues, the angel of life and victory and life of death. In the particular day and the year, in 12th of February at 14 to 2 p.m., the shadow of dead is on the pavement, projected on the pavement of angel of life and victory. And it's a symbol, because if you see much more this distant, you can see the Arcangelo Gabriele on the Castel Sant'Angelo. That's one of the principal monuments in Rome. So there is a combination in a particular day of the year. So now we can see the last period of my research, my study, the reflections. And now you can see the roadwork that I spoke you before, when we saw the manhole in Norway, and the small elements like cubic elements, and now we have the real design of these houses, Stilton. So houses that are houses for fishermen, that if you go in the summer period, you can sleep there. It is possible to rent these houses. Always in Sweden, this is one of the most famous monuments in Rome, Cecilia Metella. And but the representation is in the inversion, because it is against the teca, the box where transparency, where this is concerned. Ponte Vecchio, in old bridge in Florence, might be one of the most important known bridge. But Ponte Vecchio has 3 arches, not 2, like in this representation. But I decided to eliminate 1 arches, because the reflections you can see can build like eyeglasses. So you can see the city between the glasses of the glasses. So it's the painter sometimes decide not to represent the reality, but to invent some conditions particular. Oh, we have 3. Now we can see 1 and 1. 3 three paintings with not right position, but this is a couple, St. Peter, and there was a day, a rainy day, and the cupola was reflected in inversion on the street. And you can see that the only element right is the pigeon on the line on the left line, like this fountain in a small town in the Dolomiti in north of Italy, where even here all the city, the buildings are inverted, but the water is the unique element that goes from high to top to down. And Taj Mahal is one very interesting. I remember when I visited in India, Taj Mahal, that there was a lot of people, and if you can see, you see the people, the people at the end of these paintings that are looking at the facade of Taj Mahal. So on the water surface, you see the secondary entrance to Taj Mahal, because the people are in correspondence to see the Taj Mahal real, the real facade, the most important facade. The Starbucks in New York, and Charles Shearer. I consider Charles Shearer one of the most important paintings of precisionism. With opera, I consider Schiller opera are the most the current of precisionism is important because in the 20s of the last century, painting current that reduced the city to small elements and to refined elements. I want to conclude, finish my relation with two examples that can represent like a path of my painting. This is the mosque of Singapore, and so the idea of reflection, you can be here. So the first time in the canvas, on the canvas, are the gallery, the principal gallery of a mosque in Singapore. And then you can see every day I took a photo, a picture of my paintings. You can see the city that combines the elements and the relationship with the monument. And then you can see that the city is aggressive, is stronger in comparison with the principal elements that is the mosque. But gradually you have to combine different black and white shadows and lights to obtain what you like. So this is the end of finish of the paintings, and you see that I don't know how we can say in English, but like a filigrana, a different files one over other, and another one, and with this we finish. the room. In the room, we saw some elements in the beginnings, but singular, independent, autonomous elements. Here, there is in the fabric, the factory where has been produced the iron and so on, and so there is carbon that is a bridge where the iron elements can be transferred and go to floating. And so in this case, I designed before all the elements real of the factory. We can see every day different perspective, perception of the factory, and but at a certain moment I began to trace the reflections on the water. And consider that now you can see this because the water current has been transformed in skating ring. Is it correct? Skating ring?
Yeah.
Skating ring.
Yeah.
Skating ring. And even here, it was decided only at the end of the paintings what can be the real relationship between real and reflection, and to compare these elements. And this is the end of my lecture. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Right, I'll turn on my video. All right. Thank you very much. Sorry, I just stopped sharing, Mario, so we can see you here and we can take questions. Thank you very much. That was very interesting.
Thank you. This place is relaxing.
Exactly. Well, I would suggest everyone to just come and visit all the paintings in person. It's just amazing. I don't know whether I can actually just, hold this computer and show. Is it showing? I don't know. Well, you can see some of the paintings in the background, but it's truly amazing.
I can show.
I think
going back. I don't see if.
No, we cannot actually take this computer because this cable is connected.
Okay.
But yeah, that is truly amazing. Thank you very much. I'll see if people have any questions, and then I have one question for you, Mario. But let me first see if audience have. Yeah, Steve made a comment there. Okay, no problem. All right. Does anyone have any question for Mario? Feel free to turn on your mic and camera if you'd like, and ask if you have any question. Yeah.
If there was a question, so, I can add some.
Sure.
Some concepts, or if you have questions.
Can I? Yes, Mario.
Can I
please?
If you.
Yeah, I understand that you have a very long-standing architecture background.
Yeah.
So, and you have these amazing paintings with that concept behind it. How do you think these paintings have contributed to your architecture? How are they connected?
Many architectures contributes paintings and vice versa. But generally, the architects used to choose the relationship with the ideal architecture between the paintings. Or like Le Corbusier. Le Corbusier was a great painter, but he divided totally paintings and architecture. He used to paint in part of the day and to design architecture in the other part of the day. And but the connection was that his paintings were, were combined with Cubism. In fact, Le Corbusier was really current, always current with Cubism. Even if for the construction, the shapes of the buildings, but even with the elements of construction, technological elements of construction. So the paintings are different. The paintings are totally different from architecture, but the idea is the same. And another famous architect, much more recent, Frank Gehry. Frank Gehry began to do architecture when he was old, 50, 60. Before he was a sculptor. And a sculptor of the elements I called before paraphernalia of the city. So elements, engine of machine, a wash machine, and so on. And when became architect, he continued to search in the city. The first houses in Venice, California, are constructed with elements found on the seaside. So occasionally you can find, you can combine. But later, after this first experience, when I was 60, he became one of the most important and architecture, because succeeded in combining this expression, this idea, with shape and the necessity of the city in the museum of Guggenheim in Bilbao. With this different combination of elements, you can see that you can have a solution of different parts of the city, more than 5-6 meters, and you can cross the city with this. And when you see Bilbao, the bridge of Calatrava, you see that I joke. The real architecture is Frank Gehry with the museum.
Yeah, well, that's a very good explanation for that. And you're right. You see the translation of all those knowledge into, their work. So I can see that, when you talk about the shadows and the general impact on the, urban, what you see, what you interpret from urban realms, it's just, it is impactful, definitely.
I think that's the best design, best project by Frank Gehry, the
Guggenheim Museum. Yeah,
Bilbao. Did you visit?
Yes, I have been there. I really enjoyed. Yes, that's
really
beautiful.
really beautiful, and
Good
transformed the city.
That's
I visited Bilbao 30 years ago, and it was a city black. No, a city amusement.
Yeah.
But now you go and to go walking on the river, and it's a pleasure.
Exactly.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
No, that's fantastic.
And
that's right.
and I think that the museum is a real operation of renewal the city.
Of the city, exactly.
But I hope that we can speak even urban regeneration.
Mhm,
So
yeah, yeah.
we can speak of Bilbao, but even of other cities.
Sure.
Because here it's a real relaxing place.
Perfect. Thank you. Negar is typing. Thank you, Mario. It was a perfect presentation. I enjoyed every single slide and the story behind them. Sorry, I am in a quiet room and I cannot turn on my mic to say it to you personally. So many thanks. Negar is saying thanks. And if anyone else has any question, please ask. If not, we might just wrap up the session. And I would like to thank you again for joining us, and hope to see you in person on Friday if you are in Perth. I know that Douglas has joined us from Canada, so of course he wouldn't be able to join in person. But yeah, if you're around, please come and enjoy. It's a fantastic exhibition space, and the works, Maria's
Fantastic
works are
place, more than exhibition.
no, well, yeah, but yeah, your works actually is a great contribution to the actual space. But thank you, everyone. See you next time. Cheers. Stephen says thank you, Mario.